So good night.
Good night.
Happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath.
That's better. Thanks for the smile. So we're gonna talk about well, Afi chose the topic of
Noah the Ark.
Noah and the Ark, and I say let's make it be about water. Okay. So we already prayed. We thank God, for the Sabbath, and we thank God for His word, and we thank God, for wisdom to interpret His word, and we pray that we may also bless others with interpretation or with whatever wisdom that God gives to us. Okay.
Okay.
So we're talking about I asked a question because we were doing the video before and it messed up, so we started over. So I asked after the question, what do scientists look for in the solar system, in the universe, to determine if there could be life someplace out there? And what was the answer? Water. Right. If they find water on a planet in the form of ice, or was there, evidence of it, they assume that life could have been there or life is there. So we mentioned that the Earth is 3/4. The surface of the Earth is covered, is
70% water.
70% water. So a lot of water here on Earth. Okay, more water than land on the surface, right? So people always say concerning Noah's flood, where did the water go? And it's like, okay, if there's 70% water, then there it is. But they're thinking, look at Mount Everest. You're saying the waters covered Mount Everest? Well, no, the waters did not cover Mount Everest. Psalm 104, verse 8 says here, they go up by the mountains, they go down by the valleys, unto the place which thou hast founded for them. Talking about the waters, what happened with the waters, that the flood waters that were on the earth. Okay, so Psalm 104 verse 7 to verse 4 that says, at thy rebuke they fled, at the voice of thy thunder they hasted away. Still talking about the water. Let's go to...
You can just press the no, like, you could just press the
This right here?
no, press the arrow.
Okay, I'll do that next time. Psalm 104 verse 6. Thou coverest it with the deep as with a garment. The waters stood above the mountains. See? The water stood above the mountains. Psalm 104 verse 7. At your rebuke they fled. At the voice of your thunder they hasted away. And then verse 8. They go up by the mountains, they go down by the valleys unto the place which thou hast founded for them. So what happened was, and that's what Bible, that's what when Genesis said the waters assuaged, the mountains rose up and the valleys sank down. And so the water ran off. Right? So the mountains, the high mountains were not here before the flood. They came after the flood. Okay? Because remember, if the whole earth is covered by water, then the soil is soft. The earth is soft, so it's malleable. So it can, it can slide. The plates can slide, So the plates come together and they rise up, and then where they separate, that's a valley. Where they come together and rise up is a mountain, right? So the high, like Everest, for example, was not there before the flood. Everest was formed after the flood, right? So the landmass went up, and the parts of it that went down, the waters ran off into that part. Okay, so yes, water is necessary for life. Okay, so scientists are out there looking for life on other planets, but they ignore the life here, meaning they ignore the story here. They believe that that there is intelligence out there, and they're looking out there, and they're worried about what's out there, but they should be focused more on what's here and what happened here. The water here tells a story. Right, Afia?
Yes.
You look so excited. The water here tells a story, right? A very important story, right? About God's judgment, right? So now, do you have anything to say about Noah's? You said you wanted to do a study on Noah's
Ark.
on the ark. So what do you want to say about that? Did you have anything interesting to say about it? Anything? Well, Afi, why did you want to do Noah's Ark? Why?
Why?
Yes.
Because it's very interesting, and it mainly talks about what we're talking about right now. Why?
Okay. So yeah, what about it that you wanted to study? What about it?
What about it?
You had any questions about it? Anything?
Why did he take the seventh and the two?
The sevens were the clean animals because they had to eat some, they had to sacrifice some. That's why I took seven, the clean animals, and he had to, to farm some, right?
Oh.
So the clean animals, he took more so that he could let some go, eat some, sacrifice some. But the unclean ones, he could just let them go in the wilderness.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a lot.
And the flood was up. The water of the flood was upon earth for like over a year or more. That's how long it was on the earth before it began to recede. A year, I think it's a year. So they were in the ark for a year.
So 40 days or 40 nights.
That's how long it. That's how long it rained for.
I know that's.
But then the water stayed on there for a year.
3 quarters of a day for a year. That's 3 quarters of 2 quarters.
I mean, that's what it says, right?
Half a year. So that that's 7 half of 3 quarters. 4 quarters of a year.
Actually, I think I'm wrong here. Did I say a year? It says 150 days. That's not a year.
150 days.
That's right. Oh, I'm wrong.
Well, if they stayed there like for about, let's see, if they went on the ark, what day did they go in the ark? Nobody knows.
Yeah, it's 150 days. So how many months is that?
150 days.
Yeah.
Depending how long.
If 30 days is in a month, and if 150 days, how much?
Those days are not in 1 month.
Really, Afi? Afi. How many days are in a month?
30 or 31.
Yeah, but Afi, average. Isn't there an average? So it's 30 days in a month. Okay?
Okay.
That's how you do average.
Okay. Okay.
So 30 days in a month, average. So if it's 150 days, how many months were they?
50 days.
So how many months were they?
Days. So it's 5.
5, yeah, around 5 months. So why did I think it was a year? So the waters were upon the earth for 5 months only. Interesting. All right. Why did I think it was a year? Okay, hold on. It says here, the waters returned from off the earth continually, and after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated. The ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. See? Yeah, 10th month. And in the 10th month of the first day of the month were the tops of the mountains seen. Okay. And it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made, and he sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up from off the earth. And he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest but the sole of her feet, or of her foot. And she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her and pulled her in unto him into the ark. And he stayed yet another 7 days, and again he sent forth a dove. Oh my goodness. Out of the ark, and the dove came in unto him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. And he stayed yet other 7 days, and sent forth a dove, which returned not again unto him. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the 1st month of the 1st day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And in the 2nd month of the 27th day of the month was the earth dried. And God spoke unto Noah, saying, Go forth of the ark, The one thy wife and thy sons and thy sons' wives with thee. So it was about a year that they were on the ark. Anyway, just want to say that for those who doubt Noah's flood, the evidence is right there. Lots of water. Okay? There is enough water to cover the whole surface of the earth. If it was smoothed out. Right? If you brought the mountains back down and brought the valleys back up, the whole earth will be covered by water. Okay? Right, so Afi is so excited here. So any last words, Afi? She's proposed a topic. Any last words? Okay, nothing, I guess. She's
So
out of it.
they went on the ark in April.
In April?
Because since it's been 5 months, then start in April.
No, if you notice, it says here, it's not 5 months actually. It says here,
Because they brought it on February.
look, it says here, 7th month. Then the ark rested in the 7th month. So the waters were above the earth for 5 months.
Oh, wait a minute.
You understand?
Yes, 1, 2,
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Do you understand? The waters were above the earth for 5 months. Above the whole earth for 5 months. But before that, after it rained for 40 days and 40 nights.
Okay.
Understand? It was about a year they were on the ark for.
April, May, June, July. So it's in July, so they must have put it on January.
Okay, Afi's doing some figuring out. Anyway, thanks for watching.
I'm confused.
Yeah, that's okay. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be okay. She's confused. Have a good night. Happy Sabbath. She's still counting. Jesus Christ is the Lord.